you're the founder of an entire company, but have to disguise yourself as a parking attendant just to find out what's really going on, then clearly something is wrong. Landon McMillan didn't show up for an inspection. He didn't flash authority, no CEO badge, just an old jacket, worn-out shoes, and a handwritten logbook. Like every other staffer, within just a few hours he saw the truth. No safety gear, no proper training, and a manager who thought belittling employees was just business as usual. But amidst the chaos, there was Tara, quietly dedicated, helping others without needing recognition. And through her, Landon didn't just see the truth. He saw something far more important, that someone still believed in doing the right thing. Landon McMillan stood at the edge of the downtown parking lot as the first light of day crept between the high-rises. He looked like any new hire. Faded jacket, old baseball cap, worn soles. In his early 60s, Landon no longer moved like he used to, but his eyes were sharp, the same as when he first started out. He said he was the founder and owner of a 90-lot parking chain across 3 cities. It had all begun behind a bakery with a broom and a ledger. Over the years, he built a system that now handles thousands of vehicles a week. But lately, something wasn't sitting right. Customer complaints had risen, rude staff, broken equipment, and general indifference. One report said a driver waited almost half an hour without help. That didn't sit well with Landon, not because it hurt the brand, but because it betrayed everything he'd built, a workplace rooted in responsibility and respect. He also knew that at this scale, no one recognized him anymore, and that was the perfect chance. So he became Lee, a new worker from out of town. No one suspected a thing. The downtown lot would be the test site. And that morning, no one knew that the man scribbling license plates in a notebook was their boss. Derek, the lot manager, rolled in at 7:30 a.m. in a gleaming silver SUV, sunglasses on despite the overcast sky. He stepped out without greeting anyone, glanced at Landon and muttered, "You the new guy?" Without waiting for an answer, he walked toward the small booth in the corner. Landon followed, introduced himself as Lee. Derek didn't offer a handshake, just tossed him a receipt pad and pointed to a metal cash box. "Write the plates down, take the cash, and tear off the stub. That's it." Landon raised an eyebrow. "No reflective vest? No radio?" Derek sneered. "Don't expect freebies around here. You've got eyes. Use them." Then he walked off, leaving Landon standing in the middle of the disorganized lot. Within just an hour on the job, Landon saw the chaos for what it was. Broken pens, torn receipt books, customers unsure what to do, and card payments denied because there was no reader. He had to jog across 3 lanes of traffic just to get a change. That's when he met Tara. Tara worked in a far corner of the lot, juggling payments while apologizing sincerely to every customer for the delays. Noticing Landon struggling, she quietly handed him a working pen and a roll of small bills. "I bought my own reflective vest from a thrift shop," she whispered. "Kept asking for one, but no luck. So I just spent $6 on it myself." Landon glanced at her worn gloves and battered shoes, and something in his chest sank. Things were worse than he thought. In the hot, chaotic sprawl of the downtown lot, Tara stood out like a rare light. She didn't just work efficiently. She radiated a quiet kindness Landon hadn't seen in a long time. When customers looked confused, she didn't snap or ignore them. She explained patiently, even helping an elderly man find an accessible space. With coworkers, she was just as thoughtful, lending out pens, sharing water, even bringing iced tea from the gas station across the street for Lee, the new guy, Landon observed quietly, growing more certain. Tara wasn't the only good person left, but she was one of the few still holding on to their values in this place, a place where managers like Derek rarely left their offices, where workers were forced into back-to-back shifts, no break room, no water, no safety gear. A young man named Marcus sat slumped on an old paint bucket in the far corner. Landon checked on him. Marcus said he was exhausted. He'd worked the overnight shift at a different lot, then was ordered to open this one in the morning. No rest, no shift coverage, just a command from Derek, do it or lose hours. But what truly shocked Landon wasn't just the treatment of people, It was the blatant disregard for safety. He watched a woman struggle to lower a wheelchair down a steep, cracked curb, nearly tipping over. Landon rushed to help her. She sighed, "But I've been coming here for 2 years. This place has never had a proper ramp." He looked around. No signs, no guardrails, no accommodations of any kind. If that happened right in front of him, how many times had it happened unnoticed? How many Taras had suffered in silence? Each step he took across that lot felt heavier. He didn't need another report. No more customer complaint emails. He was inside the problem now, and he finally understood why people were speaking up. It wasn't just broken systems, it was something colder, systemic neglect. And Landon knew if he still wanted to call himself a leader with a conscience, that kind of neglect could no longer continue. The midday sun was blazing now, beating down on the asphalt like fire. Landon was gathering a few stray receipts that had blown loose when he heard shouting from the center of the lot. He looked up to see Derek yelling at Tara, his voice shrill, laced with mockery. "How many times do I have to say it? Quit chit-chatting. If customers are waiting, let them wait. Your job is to collect money, not play Mother Teresa." Tara pressed her lips together, clearly trying to stay calm. A nearby customer, an older woman, looked on, confused and startled by the confrontation. Landon exhaled slowly and walked straight over. "What's going on here?" he asked, voice even. Derek turned and scowled. "Can't you see she's causing trouble?" "All I see," Landon replied, "is her helping a customer back up without hitting the pole." Derek gave a sarcastic laugh. "Oh, what now? You're a supervisor? Been here a day and already think you own the place?" Landon looked him square in the eye. Then, with quiet firmness, he said, "My name is Landon McMillan, and I do own the place." The air turned heavy. Tara's eyes widened. A few nearby employees froze, stunned. Derek stood still for a beat, then flushed red. "You're kidding." "I don't have time to kid." Landon reached into his shirt pocket and pulled out his real ID badge. Derek stared at it, then took a step back, clearly rattled. He opened his mouth, but Landon continued. "I've stood in the sun, taken cash, made change, listened to customer complaints, while you sat in your air-conditioned office eating hamburgers. I've seen employees buy their own safety gear. I've seen people working double shifts with no breaks. I've seen someone almost fall because there's no ramp for wheelchairs. And I've heard you talk to people like they're trash." He paused, his voice now firmer, cutting. "And I don't accept that." Derek's tone lowered, but he tried to defend himself, clinging to excuses he'd clearly used before. "I'm just doing my job. We hit our numbers every month. This lot's never lost money. You hit your targets by draining people. By creating a workplace where telling the truth means risking your job. That's not leadership, that's failure." Landon turned to the gathered staff, their eyes filled with anticipation. "As of this moment, Derek is officially terminated." There was no applause, but the tension lifted like a midday storm cooling scorched pavement. Tara stood still for a moment, then slowly bowed her head in quiet relief. A younger staffer whispered. Finally, someone said it. Landon looked at Tara. "I need your help gathering the full team. Starting today, everything changes, beginning with respect." For the first time in years, he didn't just feel like the founder. He felt like a leader on the right side. That afternoon, right after Derek's dismissal, Landon gathered all employees from the central lot. They assembled around the small booth, still in their sweat-soaked shirts, dirty gloves, and worn-out shoes. Visibly tired but attentive, Landon stood among them, voice steady but firm. "I'm Landon McMillan. I'm the founder and owner of this parking lot chain. For the past 2 days, I've worked alongside you under the name Lee to see firsthand what's really happening." Silence settled in. Tara looked up in surprise. The others shifted awkwardly. Landon continued. "I gave authority to someone who didn't deserve it. I trusted our managers to ensure decent working conditions. I believed our system would function properly. And I was wrong." His tone tightened, firm and resolute. "Starting today, we begin again." He laid out clear commitments. Proper safety gear. Every employee will be equipped with reflective vests, gloves, flame and water-resistant clipboards, reliable pens, and handheld radios for communication. No unauthorized double shifts. All staff will receive proper rest. No one will be forced into back-to-back shifts unless pre-approved by a direct supervisor and HR. A crucial carrier said it would need about 15 minutes of probed to pool autopilot with any bomb threat, issued an unauthorized BISPO that drove CRV prices up through the roof. It's not an unauthorized double shifts. All staff will receive proper rest. No one will be forced into back-to-back shifts unless pre-approved by a direct supervisor and HR. Reviewing disciplinary records. All disciplinary actions issued under Derek's management will be re-examined. Any instances of retaliation or unfair punishment will be removed from employee records. Restoring fairness and respect, all discrepancies in pay, hours, and benefits will be audited. Anyone who had their hours cut or missed out on bonuses for unclear reasons will be compensated. After these declarations, Landon turned to Tara. Tara, you've kept this place running with heart and integrity. You have the awareness, the capability, and most importantly, the character. As of today, you're the acting site manager. Tara's eyes widened. She pressed her lips together, surprised. I don't think I'm ready. You've been ready for a long time. Now you get to do it with the authority you've earned. Landon then faced the team, his tone serious. I won't promise to fix everything overnight, but I will promise this. I will not look away, and I won't allow anyone else to either. From today forward, we're rebuilding a place worth working in. For a moment, silence held the air. Then Tara nodded. One by one, others followed, hands rising in quiet agreement, signaling a new beginning. Immediately after Derek's dismissal, Landon didn't stop at promises. He moved fast, starting with infrastructure. The very next morning, he contacted the city's urban works office and requested a full safety inspection of the central lot. He personally walked inspectors through the site, pointing out steep ramps and hazard zones Tara had long documented. One inspector nodded. Yep, that's a clear ADA violation. Within days, a work crew arrived. They rebuilt the ramp, installed handrails, and added new signage. For the first time in years, Tara saw what it looked like when leadership actually listened. In parallel, Landon launched a new feedback system, anonymous drop boxes at every lot. No names, no tracing, he said. Tara recommended staggered shifts to guarantee real break time for every worker. Landon personally signed off on equipment upgrades. Within a week, every employee received new reflective vests, radios, gloves, and weatherproof clipboards. He handed them out himself, now dressed again in his simple worker's uniform. If your size doesn't fit, speak up. We'll order what you need, Landon said. Emil, a new hire, shyly raised his hand. Another step forward was tracking and accountability. Tara was assigned to manage a shift log, monitor missing equipment, collect feedback, and flag issues. Everything was compiled and sent directly to Landon and the corporate office team. When a longtime employee shared that her hours had been cut after taking leave to care for her child, Landon nodded. I'm reviewing all disciplinary records. If anyone's been treated unfairly, we'll make it right. As the sun dipped toward evening, Landon and Tara stood side by side, watching cars come and go in rhythm. Nearby, Emil was carefully affixing a ticket to a windshield, smiling shyly at a driver. Tara said softly, "It's changing, really changing." Landon said nothing, just nodded. He knew nothing about this was easy, but the first bricks were being laid with care. Every suggestion slipped, every honest word, every small action was pushing the lot closer to what he'd always envisioned, a place where people mattered more than profit. Just 2 weeks after Landon McMillan revealed his identity, the central lot had changed enough that even passing drivers noticed. Some, waiting in line, commented aloud, "The staff seems a lot more respectful now, and those new uniforms are way more visible." Inside, the workplace was shifting noticeably. The shift schedule board was now updated daily, with clearly marked break and off times for everyone. The old, beat-up filing cabinet had been replaced by a new one, labeled with categories: complaints, proposals, safety violations, and compensation requests. Tara had taped a handwritten note on the top drawer. Every comment will be taken seriously. People who had once stayed silent were speaking up. Grace, A quiet senior worker now confidently proposed a change to the handover process to avoid ticket log mix-ups. Caleb, a veteran lot technician, recommended better roof awnings for car cleaning zones. Even Emil, just 17, suggested adding a shift reminder system. Tara logged everything, sorted it, and submitted a weekly summary to Landon, who approved items faster than anyone expected. "I'm done leading from above. I want to understand from the ground," he said during a short team huddle. Even disciplinary actions from Derek's regime were re-examined. Lewis, who had been fired after missing the shift to care for his sick wife, received a personal call from Landon, inviting him back with an apology. "I don't just want you back. I want you to know you deserve respect." Tara, in her new role as interim manager, didn't just follow through on proposed changes. She embodied the new spirit of leadership. She initiated the first training session, titled Customer First, Team Always, for incoming staff. She proposed backup shift pairings and grouped team members by experience level to ensure everyone had support during their workday. Not only in Landon's eyes, but across the entire team, Tara became an anchor. Whenever someone hesitated to speak up, she'd simply say, "Go ahead, we're being heard now." Amid the hum of engines and the shuffle of traffic cones, a new culture had begun to take root at the central parking lot, a culture of respect, transparency, and empathy. On Monday morning, as sunlight crept past the skyline, Landon McMillan arrived at the central lot. This time, no disguise, no old caps or worn shoes. He wore a clean polo with a crisp name badge that read, Landon Owner. No one looked at him like a stranger. Tara was at the entrance, clipboard in hand, speaking to a new hire. When she saw him, she gave a simple nod, then turned back to training the employee, poised and capable. The chaos was gone. Every staffer wore reflective vests, carried working radios, and had the tools they needed. Vehicles flowed smoothly. A young worker waved to Landon in passing, and Tara assisted an elderly driver at the newly rebuilt ramp. Landon strolled the perimeter, pausing by the old booth where, weeks ago, he'd eaten a granola bar during his undercover shift. Now it was a proper break station. Bench seating, a fan, cold water, and a rotating rest schedule posted on the glass. Tara approached, holding feedback slips from the anonymous box. "We've got a few notes about shifting summer hours," she said, "and Emil's settling in well." "I noticed," Landon nodded. "He greeted me by name this morning. I'm glad he stayed." Tara looked at him, then added, "Last month, I was offered a spot at that valet company over in Westside. Better pay." "And?" Landon asked. "I turned it down," she said quietly. "I wanted to stay and see if this place could really change." For a moment, neither spoke. A soft breeze passed between rows of neatly parked cars. There were no grand speeches, no applause, just presence, eye contact, and real progress. And that was enough. Landon scanned the lot. At Section C, once the most chaotic, two workers coordinated smoothly, guiding traffic with calm precision. Things weren't just better, they were beginning to feel right. He spoke softly, as if to himself. "No one can rebuild from the ground up without first facing what's broken." Tara heard him. She didn't respond with words, just a quiet nod. The two of them stood there in the morning sun, where everything, though far from perfect, had truly begun again. From people, not from reputation, not from profit. In just a few short weeks, the parking lot that had once been a place of pressure and silence felt different. Staff went home on time. They had protective gear, clean water, and most importantly, a voice. They no longer feared losing their job for speaking up. They began offering ideas, making improvements, and building a workplace people actually wanted to be part of. Tara, once silent and resigned, is now the official manager. Not because she talks well, but because she shows up every day, every shift, for everyone. Landon no longer wears a disguise. He visits the lot every week, not to supervise, but to listen. And he's come to realize something he had forgotten over decades of being a boss. A good company doesn't grow big just from revenue. It grows because of good people who choose to do the right thing, even when no one's watching. So if you've ever felt too small to make a difference, remember this: one right action, one kind word can be the reason an entire place starts over.